Good morning. It is March 27th. Welcome to the Wednesday Wisdom Call. My name is Marty Forrest. My website is helloextraordinarylife.com. If you have not been there yet, go check out the website. On the landing page, you can get your free guide ebook called 3 Steps to Reprogramming Your Negative Self-Talk. Also, you can go to the Work With Me page and check out what I do as a mentor coach one-on-one. And also there's a 6-week course that begins on, actually it's a 7-week course. I added a week, begins on April 6th, Saturday mornings, 8 to 9. For 7 weeks, it's actually a little longer because there'll be a break in there somewhere because I'll be out of town. And it's 1-hour sessions. You get a workbook. And you have a private Facebook group just for the group that are participating in that course. So we have our privacy to share with each other since it is a conference call, and that helps us to build momentum with each other and help each other know that we are all on the same journey and we're in this together. So that is super exciting, and this is a journey into loving yourself and defining what that looks like for you personally, because everyone may look a little different for each person, what loving ourselves and self-care looks like. What I know today is I cannot love you more than I love me, and I won't let you love me more than I love me. And I say it personally, but that applies to each person. Whether we believe that or not, if you simply just look at how we operate and how much we let people into our lives or close to us, it will probably reveal itself. That's been my experience in life. Today, I decided to switch it up just a little bit because I know my topics can be quite heavy and intense at times, and I decided to shift it a bit and talk about changing the set point of our brain. That's not what I called it. It was, I sent an instruction in the email. So if you're not on the list, you've missed the email, but it's also on Facebook. That's another place you can go and get connected. There's a private Facebook page, Loving Yourself from the Inside Out, where I post all of the information about the call, what I'm going to talk about. This one is about, it left my head just that second. It just left my head. The blessing ball, instructions for a blessing ball. And the tips and tools about creating positive things to reset our brain and retrain our brain is the point of this. Many of us are conditioned, have been conditioned. We grow up in a culture that is, you got to have this, you got to have that, you got to have more, you got to have something. And also, often we grow up in a critical home or abusive home. And our brain gets set in a place of fight or flight, freeze or appease, and doing different things to create a new set point for us to be able to respond to life instead of react to it. They're simple tools, but they take some practice, and they take being mindful and remembering to do them, because we have good forgetters. And we are very habituated and very programmed. Learning new skills and tools takes some commitment. When I offer them, I try to keep them really simple, because I know that even for me, there was many times I wanted to do everything all at once, and that doesn't work. Just implement one thing that works for you. This particular one is a blessing ball, and it was something that I watched on YouTube. It was a woman, her name is Christy Marie Sheldon. So if you're interested, you can go find her YouTube video. It's not called that, but it was a simple instruction. And as I've been doing this, I can only speak to my experience about this, because as I've been doing it and playing with the energy of it and practicing it every day, I can tell you that each day I just feel a little happier and a little more grounded and a little more centered, without giving it any more thought than waking up in the morning. Because when I wake up in the morning, I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning, and I went to the bathroom and I laid back down, and then I didn't really sleep much after that. I was getting up early anyway, and so when I'm not sleeping or drifting in and out, I will practice that. I will implement that. And so it was easy for me to implement this habit. That's part of when we learn new habits and we learn new tools, is to implement them in places that are easy to implement them, easy to insert them. When I wake up, it's early, and rather than allow, I'm going to say our brain, run amok with whatever is floating in and out of our head when we wake up from sleeping, because we're coming from that dream state and waking up to going on. And when I wake up like that, and when most of us wake up like that, there's no real discipline about the direction of our mind. It's just floating. It's just going through whatever the day looks like, whatever stuff we got to do. How am I going to get it all done? When we decide, make a choice to focus differently, then we focus differently. So rather than allowing our brain to just go and drift around, that's why I have a hard time meditating first thing in the morning, because my brain's floating around, drifting around to whatever I think has to happen this day, or making the plan, or whatever I'm excited about for the day. Giving it a direction, and a positive one, then sets a different tone. I can now come off the, what do you call it, the bounce house, let's just say, where it's just bouncing all over the place like a ping pong ball, to being directed. And when I direct it to the blessing ball, and I'm focused on what I want to have present in my day, that's what I put in my blessing ball. And I always start with love and compassion. Those are my two that so you connect. So let me just give you that instruction. You connect. Just imagine you're connecting to the center of the earth. You're planting a root. You're sending a root down to the earth, the core, and then you're also sending a feeler out, or an antenna out into the galaxy. So it's bigger than you, right? We're talking about bigger than you. We're connecting to Spirit, Holy Spirit, God, Creator, or whatever you call that, making that connection consciously. Now you imagine that you have a ball of energy, a ball of light. Whether you do it physically, you hold your hands out and you imagine a ball between them, or you imagine it in your mind. And then you take that ball and you fill it with the things that you like to have present in your day, or you'd like to manifest more of in your day, or create more of in your day. Mine is love and compassion. That's always first. Then it might be inspiration and time. Sometimes I feel like I don't have enough time. So it's time and patience or focus. Some of it could be if you're wanting to just be your ideal weight. Because what it does when we start to do that is, first of all, it focuses the brain. It sets the tone for our day. And you just add whatever you want to in it. Inspiration may be one of them, or feeling your intuition more present, or spirit more present in your life. Whatever those are for you, you can put whatever you want into it and do it every day. It doesn't take long. It doesn't have to take long. When you're done, you just have this ball of energy with all of these really amazing positive qualities and ways of being, context for your day, and you just place that ball in your heart with all those adjectives and all those ways and creations. Place it in your heart. And then you end it with, I bless myself with pure love and light. I bless myself with pure source energy. We're connected, so we're already connected to the universe. I know some people might be going, well, that's not a God thing. Well, it is a God thing. I'm already connected. You've already connected to the universe. You've already connected to your spirit. So when you are saying that, I bless myself, it's just God blessing you for your day with pure love and light and pure source energy. That's it. And you repeat that a few times, once, whatever you need to do. In the videos, you repeated that many times. I repeat it a few times, and then I get up and I go about my day. And I really don't give it a lot of thought. Sometimes I'll have a thought of, oh, I should have added that. And then I just kind of intentionally add it to the ball that I already put in my heart. And then I keep going about my day. Over time, like any habit, over time, it has created a different space in my world. And this is why it's so valuable when we do gratitude journals, when we get up and even exercise in the morning, when we get up and we pray in the morning or meditate. I say morning because it sets the tone and gives my brain a direction to go. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do when you get up in the morning, to give your brain a direction to go. Many of us hit the floor running and we're off and out the door, and we got kids to get ready and we got the dogs to feed and we got things to do, and we're just, remember how your day goes. It goes the same way, and it feels a little scattered and it feels a little stressful maybe. When you can take 5 minutes or less when you wake up in the morning and you do that, it makes a huge difference in your day. Hi, Laura.
Laura Duncan. Sorry, time got away from me. I just looked at the clock. I went, holy, holy smoke.
Well, I was just chatting away about the blessing ball that I had sent and the direction and why it's important to create a reset in our brain.
Oh, I just sat down on the couch with my 2 dogs on my lap. So
awesome. So perfect. So It's important. So let me finish my train of thought there. So it's important that we set that in the morning. I like it in the morning. When I do my gratitude journals, I do them in the morning. When I do the blessing ball, I do it when I first wake up in the morning, because it gives my brain direction instead of giving it free rein. What happens is we begin to reset the neurotransmitters in our brain, because we have these pathways in our brain that have been set from when we're children, neural pathways that get set. Then it's a fight or flight, freeze or appease mentality often, because we were taught how to survive. So these tools about setting our intention in the morning, setting our intention for the day, helps to start to reset and recalibrate, because it gives our brain a new direction and we create new pathways. Now, what I can tell you is it's often, until we get in a habit and a new pathway really ingrained, it's pretty easy to fall back into our ways of being, because that neural pathway's been there a long time. Hence the habituated behaviors and programming. When we begin doing the blessing ball I've offered today, or gratitude journals, praying in the morning, meditating in the morning, instead of hitting the floor running. I'm repeating myself a little bit, but I wanted you to hear this again, Laura. And it's good to hear it again for anybody, because we need to hear it more than once. So it's important that we begin to discipline ourselves in the morning. Start in the morning. Start when you wake up. How do you start your day? I start my day with the blessing ball. I hit the floor and I do some yoga. That's what I do, except for this morning we got up really early, and so I didn't do my yoga, but I did my blessing ball. And over time, this is what I'm noticing, is any habit that we begin to implement and we practice it, even if we didn't do it, maybe you wake up and you didn't do it first thing because you forgot. Now you're having your coffee. Okay, take a minute, pause, take a minute, 2 minutes, whatever it is, pause, and do whatever you've decided you're going to do for this day to set your tone, set your intention. So you're going in that direction. Otherwise, we just float around often like a leaf on the wind, and each little thing that happens pulls us in that direction, and we react in that thing. And because our brain hasn't been trained any different. That's the point. The brain has been trained how it's been trained. There's nothing right or wrong about it. All we get to do now is look at, is it working for me? Is it most effective for me? And if it's not, how do I want it to be different? How do I want to shift it to be something that is more effective, or that makes us feel better and happier and more joyful? It's the point of this life of being human, right? Being joyful, being happy. And it includes all of it. Being human is a fully inclusive thing of all of the emotions. When we are learning how to do new things, it takes time. They say that the infamous they, quote unquote, say it takes 21 days to implement a new habit. Well, how many of us go to the gym, New Year's resolutions, we go to the gym, maybe we go 21 days, maybe we go a month or two. And then we miss a day, and then we miss another day, and then we miss another day because life got in the way. It's really easy to fall off the track because it takes that time and commitment to ourselves because we want to show up in the world as our best selves. And if we are not fully authentic and fully happy with how we show up in ourselves, it's not about what anybody else thinks, it's about ourselves and how we are with us, then the only question I can ask myself is, am I really being my best self? Are you really being your best self? I'm just showing up and smiling and I'm saying fine. I saw someone last night at a birthday gathering and I said, how are you? And she's smiling and she's like, oh, I'm great. And then she went, her smile just left her face for a second and she goes, not really, I'm just full of shit. I just was like, oh my gosh. And that's what we do in the world. Pretend we're okay. And maybe in some circumstances, we don't want to tell everybody what's going on, but it's also about being authentic to ourselves and learning how to implement new tools that inspire us to want to do something and to commit to doing something that helps us be our best selves, the grandest version of ourselves every single day. I could keep talking about this because it's just such a, all of this self-growth, all of this self-love, all of this transformational process. I'm avoiding the word work. Process it's a beautiful thing, and it takes something from us to make it happen. And it's a beautiful thing, and it inspires others to want to do it also. Because now when we begin doing this ourselves, we give others permission. The more authentic we are and the more real and the more loving we are for ourselves, the more we give people permission to also be that way in their own world. It's their choice, but we give them permission by showing them how in simple, effective ways in our own world. And with that, I will stop talking. I know you came in there in the middle of it, Laura, but I repeated a little bit of it so you could catch up. Did you get anything out of that?
Oh, yeah, I did. What I do first thing was when my feet hit the floor, I just thank God for giving me another day.
Yes. Beautiful. Perfect.
Yep.
Love it, love it. It is an amazing thing, life.
Is anybody else on?
Nope.
No, just you and I?
Just you and I today.
Yeah. And then I take my girls out to do their business. I feed them. I get a cup of coffee, and I say my rosary, and then I go fix myself some oatmeal, and then I get a cup of coffee, and I sit and cuddle with my dogs, and then I go about my business of the day.
Love it. Awesome.
Sometimes we have to fake a smile because, I think we've both been around people that are grumpy all the time and how they can pull you down.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to fake it to make it, When you realize that you feel gloomy and stuff, if you smile and people smile back at you, it makes you feel better.
Absolutely true. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
That's my thing. I don't like to be around people that are negative all the time because it just drags my butt down. Just drags me down.
Yeah, it's you said something about fake it till you make it, and I shifted that for myself, and I just want to share this for you and everyone that would listen to this. I'm not a good faker. Let me just say that. I'm not a good faker. I have no poker face. And that's me.
Me neither.
So there's some memes I've seen going around on Facebook about, they talk about the voices and, well, help me control my facial expressions because everybody knows on my face.
Yeah.
What I learned, though, is the evidence has proven to me time and time and time again that everything will be all right. So even when I'm not feeling my best, I can still authentically say, you know what, I'm okay. Life is good. No matter what my experience is, it's still good. Because I'm not a good faker. So I've had to find another perspective to hold for myself when I didn't feel good, to be able to authentically just go, you know, I'm all right. No matter what's going on in my world, I'm all right, and I'm going to be all right. And then
Yes.
that it helped me to feel real to me and authentic to me. And it was just a shift in the perspective. It still applies as a fake it till you make it, but it shifted the perspective of what I know to be true for me inside.
I sort of grab myself by, if I wake up grumpy and stuff, and I tell myself, well, just think of some of the other options you may not have had this day.
That's right.
You might be 6 feet under.
Exactly right.
And make the best of today. And that usually gets me out of the slump. I say that quite often when I hear my sister complaining. And I said, just think of how much worse it could be and what other options.
Absolutely. It's a choice, right? It's the view of our world is a choice.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you, and I'm sorry. I just sat down with my cup of coffee, and I looked at the clock on the coffee table. I thought, oh, holy smokes.
Right? Yes. Well, I'm grateful that you made it and you got to hear something valuable. And
I appreciate your calls, Marty. I really do.
Thank you very much. And so for anybody who does that, we get lost in time, because I do too. Maybe we could set alarms for ourselves to remember.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Because we have lots of technology to do that.
That's true. That's true.